for number 2? David, go ahead.
Oh.
So I think you started off over here. These numbers over there. Where'd you get them from?
I got the 8 and the 16 from problem, and 4 goes into both 8 and 16.
Okay, when you multiply 4 times 4, you get 16.
Mm-hmm.
You add them, you get 8.
Yep.
Okay, so then what'd you do?
I minus, subtracted 4, and from 0 I got negative 4.
Okay, so you said this one is equal to 0, subtracted 4 from both sides, and you got x is negative 4. Okay?
And since it's both are the same, both equal the same.
Okay, sounds good. David, you want, but she's not here. Okay. Natalia, go ahead. I'll do it. Explain what you did for number 3.
Did the box method.
Okay, so but first you did this though, right? This is your first step.
Yes.
So how did you get the 24 here, and how did you get the 25 there?
So I times A times C,
Mm-hmm.
which is 24. And then 1 times 24 equals 24, and then it adds up to 25.
Right, so you just took the B and put it down there, so you found two numbers that, as you said, so you found these two, because they multiply 24 and they add to 25, great.
And I did the box method.
Mm-hmm.
I plugged in all the numbers.
Mm-hmm. So you put these two in first. So what I saw Deja do was she put the box first thing with these two numbers in it, and nothing else, just the 3m squared and the 8, before she did anything else. And then you plug those two numbers in there, great. And then what'd you do?
I took out what went into 3m squared.
And
Sorry, the box method the tutor helped me. I'm still like not
okay,
super familiar with.
okay. Deja, I wanted to actually, you were gone, so I was going to actually have you do this one.
Okay.
Well, okay, so we'll kind of go through this.
Yeah.
If you go to one, I'll have you do this one. So what we have is, I know I have to do a second step, because I have a number in front of my m squared. I can't just do the straight up thing I did with number 2. So what a lot of folks are doing is they're drawing their box ahead of time, knowing they're going to have to do a box, which I kind of like. I thought that was kind of a clever, useful thing. And they put the first one in the first spot, last one in the last spot, and they got to figure out what goes in here. So we're going to go over here and do our diamond method. So, like Natalia said, 3 times 8 is 24. So two numbers that multiply to 24 and add to 25. I had to put this part here so I remember which one's which, multiply and the add. And you said that 24 and 1 multiply to 24 and add to 25. So that's what goes in here. That is in place of my 25m. 1m and 24m. That just takes place of the 25m. All right, and then from here, Deja, what did you do from here? Do you remember?
Yeah, so from there, I kind of just try to figure out what times what equals 24, because it was a bigger number, so I felt like it was easier for me. I figured out 3 times 8, and that would, I actually switched my numbers, so
Oh,
the
you
one
did it
is
differently?
24.
Okay, so you had them, hold on. And I'm like, this, you had
Yeah.
24m? And 1m?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So then 8 times 3 was 24, so then I put the 8 at the top. Yeah.
Okay, okay, so you said, since you found what goes into both 24 and 8,
Yeah.
you said 8, okay, good.
And then what times what equals 3 and 0, or 3 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured out 1 times 1, or 1 times 3.
Okay,
So then m at the top with the 1 next to the 3. Yeah.
okay, so it's similar to what Fox was saying. So what do they have in common? What can you pull out of both of them? An m. And what do these have in common? An 8. Does that sort of make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then over here,
Same thing across, which would be 3m.
yep, what do they have in common? So 3 and 24, they have a 3 in common.
Yeah.
And m squared and m, they have an m in common. And then what can you pull out of 1m and 8? They have nothing in common. So they always have 1 in common. So you pull out a 1. Perfect. And then you're done. Double check is 1 times 8, 8. So remember, whatever is along this row and this column when they intersect should be what these two multiply to. So 1 times 8 is 8. So I know that that's good. So Alex, if you want to do it this way, this is how you do it. Use your check. What's along this row and what's along that column. When you multiply them, 1 times 8 should give you 8. And then you would pick a different one, like along this row and along that column. 3m times 8 should give you 24m. That's how this one gets set up. That's how you work that one. That's your double check. But the easiest way is to kind of say, what do these two have in common, and write it up here. Okay, so then you're done. That's it. m plus 8 times 3m plus 1 equals 0. And then we're going to split that into two pieces, which, Deja, go ahead and finish. What would you do then from here?
So do m plus 8 equals 0, and then I would subtract 8 to both sides for that, so that would equal out to m equals -8.
Great, and the other one?
And then I did 3m plus 1 equals to 0, and then I minus the 1 on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then I got 3m is equal to -1, and then I divided the 3 to both sides.
So then you end up m equals what?
I think it kept that far.
Oh,
Well, -1.
just leave it as fraction.
Just leave it like that, and you want it as a
Negative,
-1/3.
yeah, perfect. That's all I wanted. I just wanted you to give me that. Okay, all right. All right. So that's that one. Now we're going to take a look at the square root method. I don't know if folks remember this one. Square root method is when if you can get your square root all by itself. So,
Miss Young?
Yeah.
You still have my paper.
oh, I'm sorry. So you get square root all by itself. And then you can just square root both sides. Remember, when you square root both sides, you get two answers. Whenever I have an x squared, I'm going to have two answers for x, because there's two x's. If I had an x cubed, I'd have three possible answers for x.
Oh,
Does that make sense for folks?
okay.
Yeah, so here, it's x squared, so first I need to get the x squared by itself. How do I get the x squared by itself? Subtract 36 from both sides.
What would that?
Oh, and add, I'm sorry, you're right, I would add 36 to both sides. I'm going to draw my little line for separate them in the middle. And then I get x squared equals 36. Now, I have the x squared by itself. I can square root both sides. Square root this side, square root that side. And I'll get x equals, okay, so what's the square root of 36?
6.
Or
Negative.
-6. So remember, when you square root them, there's always going to be those two answers. So x equals 6 or negative 6? Remember, it's x squared, so there should be two solutions. Don't forget the negative.
Would it be considered wrong if you didn't add the negative?
Yes. Yeah. The only time when you don't consider the negative is if it's a word problem. So the negative doesn't make sense, like you can't have negative time, you know what I mean? So that'd be the only time is if it's a word problem. Word problems, then you only care about the positives usually. All right, so you've got 1, 2 on this page, you have 2 on this page, and then you have a bunch more on the next page. They get a little more challenging because as you look on the next page, you've got some that you got to do a fair amount to get, you know, here. So the this one is okay because that's already, you know, you got the square part on its own. That's fine, but then you have a step afterwards. After you get after you square both sides. Maybe we'll do 3 together too. All right, so 3. If I square root both sides. Yeah, you'll do 2 on your own in a minute. I'm gonna do 3 with you right now. So let's do 3 together right now. If I square root both sides, I'm gonna get x plus 4 is equal to 3 or negative 3. So everyone understand that? When I square root negative 9, when I square root 9, I get 3 or negative 3? Yes or no?
Yes.
So it means I can have 2 of them to solve. X plus 4 equals 3, and x plus 4 equals negative 3. You've got 2 different ones to solve. So now I have to do, okay, how do I do this? I'm going to draw my little line down the middle. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, and I'll get x equals negative 1. Over here, if I subtract 4 from both sides, I'm going to get x equals, I owe $3, I owe another $4, altogether I owe $7. So x equals 1 or negative 7. That's 2 solutions. On board? Okay. So don't forget when you have something that when you have the x, you know, plus 5 inside, you have to set equal them, each of them equal to whatever that square is. This one here, you got to get rid of the 3 first before you can take the square root. And here you got to get rid of the 18 and the negative 2 before you take the square root. So make sure you pay attention to those. We did these about 2 weeks ago, I think. So it's been a little while.